Alex Eubank is a massive, massive fitness influencer, and he has been secretly printing cash with his coaching program that teaches other people how to be a fitness influencer. So it's a fitness influencer teaching other people how to be a fitness influencer. And in this one, I'm going to be showing you guys step by step exactly how he makes $150,000 plus a month. And I know this for sure because I'm actually talking to one of his closers. Okay, and it just follows the simple 3 T's that I've used for all my clients to do over $500,000 in info sales. It follows traffic, trust, and then transaction. And the truth is that it's a lot simpler than you think, and they could be doing way more. Okay, but it starts off with traffic. He has tons and tons of different traffic sources. And let's go to the one I love almost most, right? It's Instagram. Instagram is a very versatile traffic source. Hence, I enjoy it just because of its versatility. I like YouTube as well, but essentially he's doing a lot here. So he's 2.6 million followers. That is a lot. That's a ton. And then his bio. So right here he has connection and unity, kind of makes him like a human. He has his affiliate links right here because the truth is that this info product isn't even his main business. It's just a side thing. Then he has DME brand to work with me one-on-one. This is his CTA right here. And then he has his link tree. Basically, it's like his own business. Instead of link tree, it's called Maxed, but it's pretty much the same thing. So it's kind of confusing. And it's just not the best play from an info standpoint. Instead, what I'd have here, and I'm about to implement for my offers, is like a free training opt-in or something like that. Okay, but nonetheless, he has a bunch of versatility, starting with the story highlights, which he does really, really well here. He has his client wins. So these are stories of his wins from inside of his inner circle program, right? Of just people winning, 15 million views, signed 4 people, etc., etc. And then he also shows the meetups to cause FOMO, right? So he does meetups with the inner circle group, and looks like there's some gold bars there and a bunch of money. But yeah, essentially just causes FOMO for other people. And then he does his reels. Like I said, he's not doing the info thing full time. If he was, he could make a ton more money, right? But he does his lifting content, and then he does motivational content where he CTAs to his maxed brand, which is all right. Nothing crazy. Definitely making some content about posting content would probably be pretty helpful. But he does have like a second IG for that. And then occasionally he does do story sequences. So these are a couple different ones, but essentially he does this lifestyle ones, which is basically like him just showing his life right here. It's like he's like playing a video game. Other times he does subtle CTAs, right? He dropped it in the middle. Actually, it's right here, right? And essentially just shows some social proof, has a DM CTA, and then he could also incorporate a story sequence because I know he's just getting a ton of views and super, super powerful. Essentially, here's how you do a story sequence. You do hook, story, proof, offer. So hook, you basically hook everyone in, make them want to stay, like big announcement or guys, check this out. And then you kind of tell a little story. So the results from Inner Circle have been too crazy. Social proof, social proof, social proof. Might have to close it down. Too much sauce. Social proof, social proof, social proof. DM me the word brand and get in while you still can. Social proof, social proof, social proof. Right? And that's essentially how you could easily do it. Make you a ton of money. Feel free to use that in your own offers. It will make you loads of money. Okay, and that's pretty much his main IG. Like I said, he's not fully focused on the info because if he was, he could make a ton of money. But nonetheless, it's all right because he has his IG right here, which is basically his business Instagram, where he's teaching people how to be a fitness influencer. And they have a VSL, which honestly is not the best, but we'll be getting into that later. Essentially, just talking head videos about, business, being an influencer, etc., etc., right? And he just drops some game on like content, personal branding, whatever. And this is obviously the best platforms right here. This is definitely the one making the most amount of money info-wise is this one. So we won't even really break down this one because this is going to be the main thing here. And it's his Alex Eubank business channel. So, I mean, in just a couple of videos, a couple of reels, he almost has 3K subscribers, which is a lot. Super good. I mean, these are getting super good views, right? 19K right there, almost 8K right there. And it's really solid. He just needs to get a ton more volume. And right here, he has the one-on-one and he has monetize your audience with Max. He is kind of missing a free training here. It seems like he is cooking. I'll be kind of getting more into that in the traffic section or the trust section, but nonetheless, right, solid. And then right here, it's very, very confusing, right? So on his fitness YouTube channel, I'll just kind of go over it quickly, right? He barely really does business a lot, and he instead of he's pushing all the traffic to the DMs, which I guess makes sense. Not really though. He should have like a free training, like learn how to become a fitness influencer for free. And then he has like an internet Discord trading server and a bunch of other stuff. So traffic's just going all over the place. It's not optimized at all for info. If I was just optimizing this for info, I would get rid of all of this and I would just have a free training opt-in. And then it's like maybe a YouTube VSL. And that's really it. Maybe his Instagram as well. Like that's literally it. Just 3 simple things so that way the traffic's not really confused. But nonetheless, yeah. So that's pretty much that. He has like a TikTok, once again pushing the max. I would be pushing a free training here if I was taking the fitness info seriously. And then he just has like an X, some Discord servers he's pushing. And then he does Twitch live streams because the info, he's not really trying to push it full time. It's more or less like a side project of his. Because if he was, he could really, really be optimizing this, right? But nonetheless, that's his traffic. So essentially, he's kind of starting from the ground up in a sense of his new content right here and right here. And he still occasionally does push it from right here. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult just because all those people follow him for fitness. And now you're selling them something completely different, which is making content. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. That's the traffic section. So now we can go ahead and get to the trust, which these funnels are not the best. I would definitely re-optimize these, but he's really just running a DM funnel and then a hot DSL funnel. So with the DM funnel, I pretty much went through, I blurred out like my contact information and stuff, right? But essentially whenever you're doing the DM funnel, which I've been using with one of my clients, we made like 20K in 1 week so far. But essentially, right, it's the intro. So it's the that opener. Hey, what's up? Are you doing this or are you doing that? For a barber offer, hey, are you already cutting hair? You're trying to get started, right? And then it's like an irrelevant question. Where are you from? What do you do for work? So how much are you trying to hit? Why are you not there already? Hey, I could help you. Let's hop on a call. So that way I can help you get past XYZ. And then can you book it now so I can send you some game, right? That's kind of like the essential framework that you want to follow. I have all my setters follow, right? But here's how their kind of goes. So there's no this that opener. It's just, hey, thanks for reaching out. Cool for asking questions. It's like, obviously, I DM'd you the keyword for a reason. And then it's just like, so how old are you? Are you based? And what got you interested in the inner circle? Just kind of like, well, I want to be asking all that. I would just be like, cool, you already posting content? Or are you looking to get started? Right. And it's like, cool, where are you from, by the way? Right. Because there's probably a lot of Indians or people in Africa or whatever inside of his audience. So that's why they're asking that. And then this is just cringy to ask. I don't really like asking this stuff. Like, what would you say sets you apart from others who are applying to work one-on-one with Alex? It's just like, bro, they're just going to tell you what you want to hear, right? It's not actually anything true. So I kind of like this question. So where are you currently at with the personal brand and where do you want to be in 6 months? Right? So this is good. We definitely want to figure out like where they are now in their goal. So that way we can actually see a gap and pitch it. And then what are you struggling with? Kind of like this conversation is just like a bunch of questions. I mean, it's just kind of annoying, right? And then we go into right here. There's definitely room to help. Last thing, I want to make sure it makes sense for you financially. So I would have just instead asked how much, like instead of just doing all this, I would just said like, or this, I would just be like, so how much do you have to put towards, building your own personal brand? So that way we can just see where they're at. If they have like less than money, then we can like double check. And if they don't have enough money, we can do a downsell. But yeah. And it's just like friction. Friction's not bad. You do not want these leads hopping on the calls that are broke or not expecting that to pay, right? That is just completely cooked. But I would have framed the finances a lot better. So this is a good right here because after I don't have the finances, they kind of double confirm because you want to double confirm. And then they're like, all right, bet, it sounds good. And then I accidentally ghosted them because I wasn't really sure if I was going to do this video, but then I decided to do it. So then I kind of like, yo, I'm back. Here's my name. And then I want to be upfront. It's a 4-figure investment. So I'm guessing what was happening with them is they were getting a lot of unqualified leads. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, that's cool. And then they tried to book me an ASAP, which I really liked. As you can see right here, were you free today? And I was like, no, I don't. I can't do it today. And they're like they were really trying to book me an ASAP, which is really good. That's what you want because that's when the buying intent is the highest. Is when they're DMing you because I DM'd you a keyword because I had a problem. So I really like on this end how they, try to set me as soon as possible. And then it looks like that they manually book me in instead of having me do a calendar, which is interesting. I'm kind of curious why they do that. And then they set me on a call, right? And then pretty much I just click no because I'm not gonna like go in there and waste their time. And then obviously what they're going to do and what I do for the DM setting is I have a triager triage them. So essentially they call the prospect and or the closers can triage too, but they focus on rapport, make sure that they're in a quiet place. They do make sure that they watch the pre-call material. This will warm them up. Double confirm the finances because people like to lie in the DMs, and then pretty much go to the next steps and send them some, private, more resources to actually watch. And that's pretty much how it works here with the DM funnel, because I would definitely have them triage so that way they show up to their call and then they actually will pay. So that's that. And then in this VSL funnel, it's honestly not the best, right? So the audience watches a VSL that drags them to product aware. Basically, you want to break the limiting beliefs. All that this guy does, it's a 1 minute, 30-second VSL. Pretty much says, yo, I've been making millions and millions of dollars with a low following. So if you want to learn how I did it so you can do the same, apply down below. That's literally it. This is for a hot audience, right? Like the VSL, everything set up for a hot audience. I would definitely implement some sort of dialing system here just to have a opt-in funnel. We can hit them on email, we can hit them on SMS, and yeah, but literally it just talks about a social proof. Then it just shows more social proof. Listen to success stories like I want to join, right? It's just for a really, really hot audience, which maybe that's just what they want to deal with. They don't want to deal with any BS. Who knows? But essentially you kind of learn what's inside. Right here, this stuff's kind of vague. It's probably like some BS one-on-one guidance. Like, yeah, you get one-on-one coaching in the group calls or, whatever the case may be. Then they have the meetups. So I would definitely have this one first because this is definitely the most important. Just people like doing in-person meetups. It's pretty cool. They have some FAQs, which I like recommending. And then they also have more wins. So overall, it's all right, right? And then they have them apply for the inner circle. No financial qualifier, which is pretty interesting to me. They don't really qualify for anything. Instead, like, this doesn't really make sense. Like, you want to have the whole point to get a qualified lead is to make sure that they're qualified financially. So this is also just kind of confusing because it's just like you're going to get a shit ton of leads that come through the door and none of them are going to be qualified. So I'd definitely be having a financial qualification here. How much money do you have to invest into the program? How much money do you have to put towards your personal brand? Whatever the case may be. And then it's a simple triage funnel here. So it's like VSL, right? Application into setter manually books them on. I've ran this funnel before. It's interesting, but then they're also hitting some emails. So I guess that's kind of cool, but I'm going to revamp this whole funnel right now because this funnel, it's just cooked. I'm not going to lie. So here's what I would do. I'd have one page, right, where it's like an opt-in. So, hey, get this free training, put in your information so I can send you the free training. Okay, so boom, now we get their email, their name, their phone number. We can add them into our CRM and we can have a dialer dial all these leads. So then boom, after they put in their information, they're going to get sent to a free training video, right, which is right here in my lovely, lovely square. And then under this, it'll be like an application to apply. And all this VSL is going to do, it's going to be around 10 to 20 minutes, just kind of depending, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. All it's going to do is just break limiting beliefs. It's going to be introducing the new mechanism of becoming a fitness influencer and why that's the best thing to do right now. And then it's going to talk about his success, his student success, and make people want to learn from him by applying to join the program. So that's what I do for the VSL. And then the application, what would happen here is it's very, very simple. Let's go to their application. So we get their name, email, phone number. Once again, we would get, like why it's important now, where are they from, what's their goal, and how much money are they working with. That is the main thing, right? It's how much money are they actually working with, because it's the 4 reasons. Whoa, that's a good green color. But it's the 4 reasons why people don't buy is because one of them, there's 4 reasons why people don't buy. 2 of them we can control, 2 of them we can't control. So the ones that we can't control is money. They genuinely cannot afford it, which is like trying to sell a 10-year-old a car. They probably cannot afford that car, right? And the other one is that they don't want it. So it's like trying to sell me a wheelchair. It does not make sense to try to sell me a wheelchair because unless I'm buying it for my grandma or something, I just don't need it. So if we're going to be having all these leads opt in that cannot buy our product and we can't control that they can't buy it, it's cooked. So we want to make sure that we're qualifying financially in all of the leads. So that way they don't come in, they're like, oh, it's a mentorship, I didn't even know. right? But then what happens is, so they fill out the application right here, and then what I would have happen is I would implement some sort of downsell just because you're going to maximize cash flow. So if they're unqualified financially, they get sent to a new funnel, right, where it talks about like, yo, buy my program that's, $1 all the way. Buy my program that's $1 to 497, right? You get all what you need without the stuff that you don't need. And then if they are qualified, I'd simply have them book a call right here, right? And essentially what would happen is they can book a call and they're definitely going to get triaged. And whenever they book a call, they'll get sent some pre-call assets, right? Basically just telling them, yo, be on the lookout for my call because we're going to be dialing these guys. So we'll be 100% dialing them on the phone. Once again, you want to always honestly dial unless you're not trying to take a mass scale, just because you're confirming that these people actually have money. They're going to show up. You're not wasting your time. And then after that, after they get dialed, they're going to send some more pre-call assets, which would just be things, like VSLs, student interviews, etc., podcasts, breaking limiting beliefs, overall just stuff to make them know, like, and trust the creator, know, like, and trust the process, and overall want to actually join. So to recap, this is the funnel I would run for them, is an opt-in funnel. So we get their name, email, phone number, and they watch the VSL, 10 to 20 minutes, breaks limiting beliefs, shows why being an influencer is the best, and then they apply down below, and the application qualifies them financially. If they don't have enough money, we simply send them to a funnel where they can buy something for $1 to 497, and we can also have our newer dialers dial these guys to try to get some closes. And if they are qualified, we're going to have them book a call, and they're going to be getting triaged at the same time, right? And whenever they book a call, they're just going to get sent some assets that basically tell them, yo, be on the lookout for our boy. He's going to call you, whatever. And then whenever they get called right here and they get set and they're actually qualified, then we're going to send them to another assets, which is stuff like VSLs, student interviews, etc., to make them know, like, and trust the creator. Whoa, that was a lot. Okay, cool. But that's exactly how I would switch their funnel. And then transaction. So their price point is 4,800. I found that out because I'm tapped in like that. And essentially what they're going to do with the goal of the pre-call, which is why we're triaging, to get them to show up and get them to ready to buy, right? So getting them excited for the call, pre-handling objections, making them want to actually join. So essentially you want to have objection handling assets. So this is stuff like student interviews, podcast with closer, post-call VSL. So the student interviews are just massive social proof, shows that the product actually works, right? The podcast, basically, podcast with the closer is a method that you can do. Essentially introduces the closer and just handles common objections that people have. And then the post VSL. So essentially it's just a VSL that breaks limiting beliefs and shows them why the new process is so good and why that they actually need it. Obviously there's more. Those are the top 3 ones though. And essentially, right, so like right here, it can be student interviews, it can be VSLs, it can be podcasts. Those are the ones I like to run. Those are the ones that I'm running on my offers. And essentially how it works is the lead books and the call within 1 to 3 days. Ideally, we want it to be 1. And the setter is going to call them up and pretty much make sure that they're good to go. They got money, they want to join, they're going to show up to their call, and then creates maybe a WhatsApp, but overall a group chat with the lead, the closer, and himself, potentially as the client, depending on how you're framing it. But essentially, right, so now you're in a group chat, the setter puts the closer and the client in a group chat, and they're texting, sending them pre-call assets, really warming them up so that way they trust the closer. And then what happens is, morning of the call, the closer is going to remind the lead with a voice note or video, basically telling him that he has a game plan and just confirming that he's going to show up. Yo, send me a quick thumbs up so I know we're good for our call today. And then the closer will hit them again like 30 minutes before, really just to build that one-on-one connection, because you're not going to ghost someone if they're actually a real person that you're like messaging and talking to, because it's like you're talking to them and you already hopped on a call with another guy and you confirm that you're going to show up. So it's really just commitment and consistency here. And then the auto is just a Google invite to confirm the call, sales assets immediately, 24 hours, 8 hours, 1 hour, 5 minutes before, just really email and SMS reminders, plus objection handling assets, getting them excited for the call, etc., etc. And that's how they make $150K a month. Now, are they on top of their numbers? 100%. You've got to be on top of your close rate and your no-show rate. I mean, that's what I'm doing with my clients. Our no-show rate's super high. Okay, we fix some stuff. Our close rate's super low. Okay, we fix some stuff. And that's the only way to really know how you're actually doing, is just by tracking everything, right? You need to have a Navy SEAL sales process where essentially you just know every single lead. No lead gets left behind, and they are not on top of their numbers UTM-Y. Basically, they don't know which leads are coming from where, which is super important to do, because you can just continually make the same amount of content that's very, very similar. Like, let's say one video makes you 10K, one video makes you 1K. Well, you want to make more videos of the one that makes you 10K, right? But overall, it's an okay funnel. Definitely would implement like a free training opt-in and definitely optimizing the traffic and also implementing that dashboard as well. But overall, that's pretty much how Alex Eubank makes $150,000 a month. And if you are a creator or coach looking to start or scale your own info product, first link in the description, you can book a free one-on-one call with me so I can pretty much just help you actually start and scale this thing. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.